Hi, y'all. I'm back. um, now I'm going to be talking about some vetting issues regarding safety and what those things may tell you. Um, Online dating, like any sort of thing, is there's you don't really know, and even in real life, you don't really know who you're going out with. You don't exactly know, and stuff. And so there are things that you have to be careful about, and there's always the basic things, not letting a guy go to your house and all kinds of stuff. But I hear a lot of women talk about dating online and being meeting a lot of married men online. I meet a lot of married men. I meet a lot of married men and stuff, and I end up going out and the guy's married. Here's how you check if people are married. Every county, every place, if you ever heard of it, there's the Freedom of Information Act that is part of the federal law. Every state usually has some um, sort of version of that act, or they're going from the federal law act. But all the stuff that goes on in people's governments is open, and unless somebody was married somewhere else or something like that, or the, the people that you talk to, all their information and stuff is at your county website. And most counties have a website, unless you live in a really small county. Most people in big cities, and they live in that live in big cities, have a big county, and they have a county website. You need to ask people their last name. If a man won't reveal basic information about himself, I would be suspect of him, anyway. If he won't tell you his last name, I wouldn't date him. Because you're a single woman. Remember that. You're still a single woman, and your safety and comfort is tantamount to anything. It doesn't matter about him, wanting privacy and blah blah. Yeah, whatever, dude. You shouldn't be online dating. Um, your safety and comfort is tantamount. So if a man won't make you feel safe and comfortable, then he's not a man that you want to date. You want his last name. Go to your county website and go under marriages and put in his name. And there's the information. Now, he may have been married previously, so he may be divorced, but he should have told you he was divorced, and stuff. There's nothing to keep secret about being divorced. And so if you put it in there and he's still married, okay, you have somebody that's married. If he puts if you go and you look at divorce decrees, because all this stuff is public. Remember, all this stuff is public. It's public information. You can go in and you can look under, go into your Superior Court website, or Supreme Court in some states, whoever is kind of does your county court stuff, and put in his name, and there should be information of whether or not he's been divorced. Unless he was married in some other county, which, you have to think about that too. If he's saying, I'm from Chicago, and you live in, Atlanta, then you may want to check Cook County's website for stuff, instead of your county and stuff. But that's easy information to get. Nobody should be surprised by somebody being married. That's stuff you can find out basically on your own. You just need his last name. And ladies know that all your information is out there too, and stuff. So if you've done stuff and or you're still married, or you got stuff, hey, it's just kind of life. People can check on you and all that stuff. It never really mattered to me. There was, hey, I got a traffic ticket here, this or that. If the man was mad about stuff that had happened to me in the past or whatever, it wasn't a big deal. If he couldn't handle that, if that was too much for him, if that was too much for him, for me having a traffic ticket, or or something like that, it's not a big deal for me. We're really not compatible by and stuff. But you have to know he can do the same to you and stuff. And that sort of basic information is really not a big deal to me. I give you my last name, it's not a big deal and stuff. I'm not gonna give you my social security number, but I give you my last name. That's not a big deal to me. I haven't done something that I'm so ashamed of that I need to hide in a box and change my name and stuff, and he shouldn't have either. It's easy for you to look, and that stuff you can look up. You can look up stuff online. Just in Googling people, you can find out all kinds of information about people, whether people have been in jail and all that stuff. If you've been convicted of a crime, that's public information. Anybody can find that out. All they need is your name. That's it. And stuff, and all that information is public. So, ladies, I suggest that you get on and you use Google. If the man won't give you his last name, I would not date that man. Something is wrong, and stuff. And people are trying to hide. People are trying to hide all sorts of things. And it you need to make sure that you know what's going on with a guy that you're potentially dating. That's part of vetting too, and stuff. There are all kinds of books and guides and stuff about rules for dating and this and that, which is great. Use what you can, take what you can. That's a guide, to me, that's just a guide. Your instincts are the rules, and we all have instincts, and by now you should at least be able to trust yourself. If you can't trust yourself to be able to make a good decision, I wouldn't date at all. I would figure out how to make sure I can trust myself making the decision. I would not date if I really am thinking, my decision making skills are really bad. Yeah, no, you shouldn't be dating at all. You should be at this point be able to trust yourself and trust your instincts. We all know when something is wrong. Don't just shove that off. You need to make sure that you listen to that, that little voice, that little suspicious voice, that voice that the suspicion, the one that's giving you suspicion, telling you that something is off about this, something's not right about this. These two things don't match up. Something's not, you're on the date, you're feeling weird or funny and stuff. It's okay, ladies, I don't know why women just sort of, and I said it before, I don't really do the full out blown first date. I just do like a coffee meeting or something really small. So if I'm feeling weird about you, I can just say, you know what, I got something to do. I got dinner with a friend, or I got to meet my mom, or something's going on. I got an event to go to, and I can get up and get out of there. It's okay to get up and get out of there. Don't think you're rude, and stuff. If you're not really feeling the guy and something about your instincts is telling you that something is wrong, please listen to that. Too many women have ended up in really bad situations or dead because they didn't listen to their instincts. You do not have to do things that you don't want to do. Listen to your instincts. That's what they're there for and stuff. There are people, and we know when something is wrong. We can tell and stuff. So it's okay for you to get up and, and all that sort of stuff, I say for him, like I said, you ask for specifics, you ask a lot of questions of him, if you've got kids, if you're a woman with children, I suggest, you tell him you got kids. Don't hide you got kids. Don't let him meet your kids. But don't hide that you have kids or whatever. Tell them that you have children. You don't really have to tell them how many and stuff. You can, like I say, divorce and all that sort of stuff. People shouldn't be all weird about letting you know those sorts of things. That's not anything anybody should be weird about or odd about or unwilling to tell you. Because that means something is wrong with that if they are. So, it's when you have the deal breakers list and he starts breaking the deals, he starts deal breaking, leave him alone. Stop dating him. Ladies, I would suggest that if you're online dating that you have what Patty Stanger calls a pair and a spare, at least a pair. That means you need to be dating two men at once, probably three, because you don't want to be too invested in this one relationship. Women get invested so fast, and the next thing you know, they're thinking about marriage. They've got the wedding dress. It's like a weekend. They got the wedding dress picked out, and they're thinking about them, living together and being together and having babies. And dude can't even remember your last name good. We move way too fast, and you should be suspect of any man who moves way too fast. It's weird. You shouldn't be moving that fast. You should be dating a couple people. Hey, it doesn't matter. As long as you're not having sex with these folks, it's fine to be dating a couple people at once. And You can tell him, yeah, I'm seeing, yeah, it's another person I'm dating or whatever. Now if he gets all jealous and all crazy because you're dating, then that's his problem, not yours. You probably should really let him go, and stuff. I can see if you were in a committed relationship, but at this point, you're not in a committed relationship. You're just dating and stuff. So you should have at least 2 to 3 men. That way you're not heavily invested. Women, with the long distance thing, if you're doing online, do not wait around for years and years to meet people. I'm not even understanding why people do that. If I haven't met people, if I'm living in the same city and I haven't met you within a week or two, I know that I'm part of some harem you got going on with a couple of other women that you're juggling and blah, yeah, and I'm not okay with that. It's fine to say you're dating other people, but don't try to keep me in the dark with a harem that you got, juggling a couple of women here, there, and all that sort of stuff. I'm not okay. Why you try to have me on a string? That's why I say you need to date a couple people at once. Um, if you're out of town, it should be a couple of months, and stuff, and it should be within a couple of months that you meet each other. I would suggest that you meet halfway. I wouldn't really ask him to come to my town. I wouldn't go to his. You meet halfway somewhere, and you meet each other and stuff. Do not be talking on the phone, emailing for years and years, and not have met people. Women get attached. I don't know why women think we're something else that we're not. Women get attached. We're the kind of people that get attached. We could talk to other women on the Facebook for a long time, and we're attached as friends to people that we've never met before. We're those kind of people, okay? Women get attached. Men, not so much. And if you're hanging out and you're talking and you done spend a year or two talking on the phone with him and, doing whatever, and I think people doing all kind of other stuff. People want to act like they not doing stuff and they not doing little phone sex and all that. But, please, 2 and 3 years, yeah, y'all, you've made an intimate relationship with somebody over the phone, and this guy is just kind of getting his jollies. And then when you get together, he figures out, oh, I really don't really, there's nothing here. There's, I don't really have any feelings for you. And he's off and he's just wasted, 2 or 3 years. You've wasted 2 or 3 years with him, being attached to one person. In all likelihood, he's probably been dating a couple of chicks on the side that whole time. Because I'm telling you, men don't get attached like that. That's not how their attachment comes. But for women, it can happen with us. We can have this sort of thing and then think we have intimacy with somebody and talking over the phone. You need to see people. You need to be together. That's how you have a relationship. You do not have a relationship with being, you need to be with somebody. And I know sometimes if people are in the military or whatever, that's another thing. But hey, even that can be, dicey, and people are living on the other side of the world. It can be, that can be dicey. You have to build, but you need to have, and you also need to have a talk. Why people just assume that they're dating people and nobody's ever asked, I'd like to be exclusive with you, or are we dating exclusively? People just kind of assume that they are, and then when at some point when it comes along and they think that they're, and then they figured out they're not, they're like, oh my God, when did all this happen? Yeah, it happened really easily because you didn't ask any questions. Ladies, ask questions. I'm not really sure what this thing is about not asking questions. I think it's because people don't want to hear the answer. But you know what? The answer is going to be the same whether you ask it or not. So ask the question. If you have been dating a couple of months, 3 or 4 months, and nobody's talked about taking this to a long-term or committed relationship or whatever, and I'm telling you, within all that time you should have been dating a couple of other people so you don't get too attached. So if they're like, hey, I'm not feeling you after 4 months, you're like, okay, bye, and you could go on with the other 2 guys that you were dating and that showed interest in you and stuff. But somebody needs to have a talk. Somebody needs to say, you know what, I would like for us to be exclusive. Why don't we, date exclusively or whatever. Fine. That should happen pretty soon. You shouldn't be hanging on for a year. That should happen within a couple of months. It should happen within like the first 3 or 4 months. Hey, my formula was first 3 or 4 months, somebody needs to have something about exclusively dating. Within 6 months, you need to be meeting people's parents. If people won't let you meet their parents and all that sort of stuff, that's weird. You haven't met, specifically if you haven't met friends, yeah, that's really weird. Meeting friends, meeting parents, meeting other family members and stuff. Within a year, somebody should be talking about future. When you know when something is going someplace with a man, he starts talking about you in future tense, and stuff. Oh, when we have a house together. Oh, when we take this vacation. He starts talking about you, within a year, somebody needs to be talking about getting married to somebody. You shouldn't be hanging around for 5 and 6 years and nobody said anything. And if you want to be married, specifically if you want to be married and nobody said anything about marriage, it's okay to want to be married. It's okay to tell somebody that you want to be married. If they don't want to be married, then they're not the person for you. Don't try to change their minds. Just move on to someone who does want to be married. Ladies, there's lots of men who want to be married. Okay? Find him. Leave the dead alone. Okay? And within a year, somebody should be talking about marriage, presenting a ring, or doing something. Okay? You shouldn't be 3, 4, 5, 6 years. Nobody talks about marriage. Nobody talks about nothing. He's not really talking about you and future plans. He's not really saying anything about you and him. It's just kind of, well, I gotta wait. Well, when I get myself together and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, men who want to be with women ain't got to be together all the way or nothing. If they want to be with you, they're gonna figure out a way to be with you. Okay? And know this, a man that wants to be with you, with online or anything, he will make a way to be with you. He will not give you 10 million excuses. If you're hearing a bunch of excuses about how he can't find the time and he can't do this, he can't, then he really doesn't want to be with you. And then you shouldn't want to be with him. Just move on. Move on with your life. Because a man that wants to be with you is going to make it happen any way he can. Okay? He's going to move mountains to try to be with you and stuff. All this, well, I don't really have time, or I got to fit you in, or stuff is going on, or, and all. Yeah, no. Men that want to be with women, they want to be with them. And, so all this, and when you're going on the date, also a part of vetting is notice your first real date or even your first meeting. Notice how he treats other people. Notice how he treats the waitress or the person at the movie theater or whatever. Notice how he does that, and that will tell you a lot about who he is. Once again, ladies, don't go on and on and on. Don't try to make him something that he's not. Don't try to give excuses to him for his behavior. There's no excuse to be rude. There's no excuse to be, there's no excuse to be mean to people. Okay, that there's no excuse for that and stuff. He should be trying to show you his best side. If all of his worst side is coming out on that first date, then rest assured that's all you see will be the worst. Also, ladies, if you want to start off as a lady, then let yourself be a lady. Do not approach men. Do not take men out. Do not pay for dates. Do not buy drinks. Do not do that. You cannot step out on your masculine foot and then some way halfway into the relationship decide that you want to be feminine. Now, if you want to be the man in the relationship, fine. You go right ahead and you do that and you be that. If you don't, you need to step out on your feminine foot and let him treat you like a lady should be treated. Do not do a bunch of things to pursue the man and then at some point decide, well, I think I want to be treated like a woman. I'd like to be taken care of. And yeah, that's not going to work. Do not go online. Do not click on men's ads. Do not wink at them. Do not go and leave little emails and messages on their ads online. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. He's pursuing you as the woman. If you step out like that, you have now made yourself the masculine part of the relationship. It's certainly okay. That means he doesn't have to do anything. He doesn't have to make any effort. But you cannot halfway into the relationship decide that you want to somehow be treated like a delicate flower, because That's not going to happen. To be feminine, you have to act feminine and be a lady. And then he will treat you as a woman should be treated. And if he doesn't, then once again, he's not the man for you. And you should just let him go to wherever else it is that he needs to go, whatever woman that wants to put up with that. This is you looking for a relationship, trusting your instincts about what you feel about the guy. This you can make this relationship on the criteria that you have for yourself. It's okay. You can do it. You don't have to take just anything, and stuff. You can find someone that is perfect for you. It certainly can happen. Don't compromise yourself and what it is that you want because you feel like, well, I just don't have any other chance, and if I don't do it now, I'm gonna die lonely. Yeah, that's a crock of crap. It's there's somebody out there for everybody who wants somebody. There's somebody out there for you, and stuff. It's up to you to figure out who that is and who the best person is for that, and to not just take anything. Like I say, ladies, he doesn't have to be perfect. He just has to be functional. That's the part that's important. I hope all this stuff about some online vetting helped here or there. I've got some questions to answer for somebody about my husband and myself. They wanted to know some stuff, and that'll come in a later on blog. But I hope this helped, for those who don't know and kind of want to know. I hope this certainly helped. And remember, ladies, even though you're dating in the age of dumbasses, you're not a dumbass, so don't act like one. Okay, I'll talk to you all later. Bye.